Good morning. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Amber Williams, and I am an Assistant Vice President of our Annuity Marketing Services team here at IMES. My team is responsible for all annuity business related issues from application review, case management, to policy issue to annuity service requests. We handle all of your annuity related items that may come up. And this morning, I'm going to talk about our Firelight integration and how to utilize e-applications to accelerate your annuity business. But before we get started, I wanted to talk a little bit this morning in regard to our recently announced Top Producer Summit. It's a great opportunity for those of you who love to travel. You can see the slide here. All of the business that you write through IMES counts toward this qualification. It takes 4.5 million credits to qualify. And again, all of the business that you write, whether it's annuity, life, single premium life, all of the business that you write, you do get credit for. This is a Mediterranean cruise, and we will start in Rome and then have several beautiful stops along the way until we reach Venice, Italy. Attendees and their guests will all be on the concierge level, so you'll be able to take advantage of all of those great extra services there. It's an 18-month qualification, which started in December of 2020 and runs through June of 2022. So there's still plenty of time to qualify, and we'd love to have you and your guests join us as we cruise the Mediterranean. You'll definitely want to be on the qualification list for this trip. Again, it's an exclusive trip for IMES producers only, and you can only qualify by doing your business with IMES. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to give us a call here at the office. Moving on to our IMES website. As many of you are aware, this website is a great source of information. We've got annuity and life product information, sales tools, illustrations, forms. It's also a great resource for submitting your annuity and life business. This IMES website is truly going to be your one-stop shop. So please take a few moments if you haven't done so already and explore that website. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call here at the office. During today's webinar, I'm going to be discussing our processes and best practices, but my focus is really going to be on our Firelight platform, which can be accessed right from our IMES website. And as many of you know who have written business with IMES, you know and understand that we are dedicated to the handling of your business, and we work with carriers to expedite and escalate any issues as needed until that business is issued. I'd like to share some tips this morning for some items that we see delay business. These are items that we encounter every day that delay the processing of your business at the carriers. And these are really just tips for submitting in good order applications. The first is you'll see required training. Verify you're compliant to write the business before you solicit the sale. This includes state specific training or product specific training. Maybe you're writing business in a non-resident state. You need to ensure that your non-resident license is active and that you're compliant to write business in that specific state. If you have any questions about your status for training, certainly feel free to give us a call at the office and we're happy to check that for you. It's not a problem at all, so just call our office and we will check with the carrier. Keep in mind that we've had several states adopt the revised NAIC model regulation, so that's another training component that we need to be aware of and that we're checking on that as well. The second bullet point there, of course, up-to-date paperwork. Ensure you have it. Carriers are notorious for updating their forms, whether it's a disclosure or a suitability form. So if you're headed to the next sale and you're taking a paper application with you, give us a call and we will send you out the most up-to-date paperwork just to ensure you've got that when you're meeting with your client. The third option there, the suitability guidelines. You know, each carrier's requirements vary, and whether it's a minimum premium or remaining liquid assets, maybe it's a certain percentage of the client's net worth in annuities. Each carrier is a little different, and I would recommend definitely talking to someone in our office, talk to the sales team here with case design, and when you're talking case design rather, and they can keep the carrier suitability guidelines in mind as they're working on that case design with you. And then the last option or bullet point there, funding the contract, really identifying what the transferring carrier's needs may be. Some carriers require their own specific paperwork, some want an original signature. More and more carriers are allowing for an electronic signature, but we don't always know that information right away. So when you're meeting with the client, it's always a good idea to identify what that transferring carrier may require in order to move that money to the receiving company. And these are items, the items I just mentioned really are things that we see every day during our application review and our case management process that delay the processing of your business at the carrier. So if we can identify these quickly before the application gets to the carrier, it really helps smooth that process. Um, get your case get processed quickly at the carrier, excuse me. And we're always looking for ways to improve our service and making doing business with IMES easier. And it's now easier than ever to submit applications to IMES for our review and submission. We have a variety of ways here to get those applications submitted. The first is our dedicated email inbox, the annuity new business at imesinc.com. This streamlined process for application submission ensures that your applications get reviewed timely and without delay. I would recommend always sending an emailed application to this email address versus someone personal inbox of a staff member here at the office. They could be to lunch or they could be out unexpectedly. This annuity new business inbox is monitored by several people on my team all throughout the day. So again, your business is reviewed timely. The second option, of course, is our secure application upload feature available at imesinc.com. Firelight e-applications, which we're going to be discussing today. We've got our fax number listed there. We still do get a number of fax applications. And then our street address is listed there at the bottom. If you've got to submit an original signature, original paperwork, you can definitely utilize our street address for that application submission. So today we're going to focus on submitting business using the IMES Firelight platform. And like I mentioned, this can be accessed right from our website, imesinc.com. If you're currently submitting e-applications, that's great. The beauty of using the IMES Inc. website is you don't have to go to different carrier websites to complete the application. Our top core carriers are currently on our Firelight platform right on our website. And as we continue to navigate the challenges of COVID-19, IMES has invested resources to make it easier for you to do business with us. In 2020, we saw a significant need for e-applications in order to continue to do business without interruption. We're continuing to see agents utilize e-applications, which is great. And we're confident that this Firelight platform right on our website is a valuable tool that will make doing business even easier for you. Talking about Firelight, what is it? There's definitely some distinct advantages of utilizing Firelight. It's a quick and easy way to complete applications, capture signatures electronically, and submit paperwork to the carrier. With Firelight, you'll always be accessing the correct paperwork every time. It always ensures that you have the correct forms. As carriers make changes to their forms, they deploy those forms and those updates to the Firelight system, which then you go in and populate when you're creating a new application. The Firelight system will always pull the correct forms for you, which is a huge time saver and alleviates the need to go back to the client for a signature on an updated form. The submitting business in good order the first time. Firelight is really like having a personal assistant who alerts you if you've missed answering a question on a form, or maybe you've got two conflicting answers to a question. So it'll always alert you if something is not listed correctly. So essentially, your paperwork is going to go into the carrier in good order the first time, and this reduces the processing time of your business. It reduces the processing time for the carrier to review the application, send transfer paperwork, issue the contract, and it also reduces the time of you getting the policy in the client's hands and getting you paid quicker. The application copy feature, this is a very valuable tool within Firelight. We use it to complete multiple applications for the same client with various carriers. Or let's say the product training wasn't completed and there's a need for you to redo the application, you can simply copy the application and it'll pre-populate all of that data into a new application, and you just need to obtain the e-signatures again from the client. So that is a great tool and we use it actually pretty frequently. These are a list of our core carriers, our participating carriers at this time. I'm going to pause here for just a moment and let everyone take a look at the carriers that are currently on our Firelight instance. And I'd like to walk through some screenshots for those of you who are not familiar with Firelight, so you have an idea of what to expect when you get started, and also what your clients will see when you're sending the link to them for signature. The first step really is to get registered for our Firelight on our specific website. There's some steps that our team needs to do internally to enable your Firelight access on the IAMS Inc. website. So here you'll click on the eApp Solutions there at the top. You'll see that golden box around the eApp Solutions tab, and click complete the information and then submit to register. It just takes a matter of minutes for us to approve your registration there, but this really is the first step. And when you're ready to get started with your first application, you'll click on that eApp Solutions tab again at the top, and then you'll click on Firelight, as you can see here by the golden box listed there. And this will bring you to the dashboard of Firelight. Notice the recent activity listed on the dashboard, and I apologize, I do need to update this screenshot. It shows updated in 2019. The reality is these applications, whether they're submitted or they're in a data entry process, they stay on the dashboard for 90 days. So any activities that you've been working on recently, maybe you're just in the data entry portion, or maybe an application's been submitted, you'll find it right here on your dashboard for 90 days. But to build or create a new application, you'll first indicate the state, the product type, and then the carrier. And that will narrow down the options that you have available for products to select. So for this example, we'll move forward with the Athene Agility 10. And you'll see a list here of the required forms. What is great about Firelight is it really is an intuitive system. And if you start to fill out the application with the trust as the owner, Firelight will then pre-populate or pull in that trust verification form that so many of the carriers require. Or let's say it's a non-resident and you're indicating that the client lives in Iowa, but they're going to sign in Nebraska, they will then pull in that non-resident form for you. So as you complete the application, the system, Firelight itself, will then pull in any required forms that may be needed based on how you're completing the application. So once you click create, you'll have an opportunity to name the file, and it'll bring you right to the first page of the application. And it looks just like a paper application, as you will recognize, and you'll see there are fields highlighted in red. And as you complete the information and tab down to the other sections, the following section will become highlighted. And as you can see here, and you can toggle between the left and the right arrows to move forward and backward within the application pages. One of the great features of Firelight is it pre-populates data. So the client's name, and I'll back up here, the client's name and social security number, date of birth, as you fill that information out on the first page, it's going to pre-populate that data in the remaining documents. So you don't have to enter the application or that information again onto the disclosure and suitability form or transfer form. It's being pre-populated for you. It's a huge time saver, and it also eliminates the possibility of errors by transposing some numbers. So that's a definite advantage there. And once you believe you've completed all of the required data on the application pages, Firelight will alert you of anything that might be missing. And you can see here that open box that's got the golden box around it on the top left. If you click there, it'll pull down any forms that are currently still in need of information to be completed. So it won't let you move forward to the signature section until you are at 100% data entry. So in this example, we can see that we're still missing information on page 4 of the application. We're missing information on the suitability form and also the non-resident worksheet. Once we complete all of the required fields, that open box, that drop down, everything will be listed there in black, and you'll see that your data entry is at 100% there, as indicated by the red arrow. And once that's completed, you can move forward to the signature section. This is the signing ceremony of the application. And you have two options for completing the electronic signature. The first is to use an e-signature. And the second option is to decline the e-signature, print the documents, and then obtain a wet signature from the client. So remember that even if you want to utilize Firelight for application, the data entry and pulling the correct forms, you can do that, and you can decline the e-signature, obtain the wet signature from the client, and we can upload that file into the Firelight system. So that's an option as well. For this example, we're going to explore the sign now option. And so we're going to use the e-signature, and we're going to sign now, and then we're going to indicate who's signing first. We always recommend that we have the owner sign first and get that completed. And you'll see here that the client will need to indicate their personal information, and you'll enter that information there and click verified. Okay. And once that's done, and let me just back up a moment. This is a very appropriate signing ceremony for someone who is in your office, or maybe you are at their home, or you are with them in person. So we are signing it now. We are signing it in person, but it's an e-signature, if that makes sense. So you'll notice here, these are all of the different components of the application, and you'll see that the client needs to review each of the application pages, and as they click on the various pages, they'll check the box. They're highlighted by the golden box there, and that indicates that they've reviewed each of the required application pages and that the information there is listed correctly. Once they've reviewed and confirmed each piece of the application, it'll take them to the capture electronic signature section. And this is truly the signing ceremony where they'll type their name, they'll type the city where they're signing the paperwork. They can sign this with a mouse pad or simply type their name and click I consent. As the writing agent, you'll go through the same steps, indicating your agent number, where you're signing, typing your name, or signing your name with a mouse pad and click I consent. And that's it. That is the process of completing the application and the signing ceremony. It's such an easy process. Once that's completed, the paperwork is then submitted to the IMS review queue, and my team will then review the paperwork. We're going to take a look at a second example, and that would be the send email request example. This would be appropriate to use if you were not with your client presently. Maybe they want to take more time to review the documents, or maybe they live 300 miles away and you're sending the link for their signature. So this would be the send email request. And you'll see that you'll need to complete the client's information in this section, and you'll notice there's an email that will be sent to the client. You can edit this email message here, and this is going to send a unique link to the client for them to click on the link and complete the e-signature. This is an example of what the email will look like that your client will receive. And you'll notice here on the bottom that there is the link there for them to click on to complete the link or to complete the e-signature. They have the option to use the last 4 digits of their social security number in addition to their date of birth, or they can enter the unique passcode that's emailed to them as well. They'll go through the signing ceremony. The same steps apply to review the application paperwork and indicate that they've reviewed it and that the information is accurate, and that will take them to the Capture Electronic Signature section. Once they complete the electronic signature, you'll be notified, and then you can complete your signature as well as the writing agent. Again, once the application is signed, there are no further edits allowed on the paperwork. So once everything's signed by the client and by you as the writing agent, it will be submitted to the IMS review queue, and we'll take it from there. The client will receive an email indicating that, thanking them. This is coming from you as the writing agent, thanking them for applying for the business, and it gives them the option to download a copy of the completed application. When you submit the application, you are also receiving an email confirming that the application has been submitted. And essentially what happens is the e-application is received at our office, at our review queue, and my team then reviews that, or verifies rather, that the agent's compliant to write the business and product training is complete and everything is good to go there. We also do a high level review of the application documents. We'll take a look at suitability to make sure there's no red flags there. Keep in mind, we can't make any changes to the application, the information on the application. However, if it's an error and something that is going to cause delays or concern at the carrier, we will alert you. And at that time, you will have the opportunity to decide if you want to move forward with the application, or maybe you want to make some changes, use that copy feature to make some changes on the application, and then get the e-signature again from the client. So we'll give you an opportunity to decide how you want to move forward if there is a red flag there that we noticed during our review. The application is then transmitted securely from our Firelight instance to the carrier. It's by using encrypted coding. And then, of course, like I mentioned, and I just showed the slide, the client receives the email from you as the writing agent. The writing agent also receives an email to notify you that the application was submitted. And then from there, my team begins their proactive follow-up with the carrier and will alert you of updates along the way. As many of you know who have written business with IMS, you know that we proactively follow up with our cases every 2 to 3 business days to ensure everything is moving through at the carrier level as it should. And if there's anything that needs to be escalated or expedited, then we reach out to our contacts at the carrier accordingly. This concludes my Firelight, wrap up and introduction to Firelight, I should say. If you'd still like to put pen to paper, you have a few different ways to submit the paperwork to IMS, as I mentioned earlier. We appreciate your partnership, and however you submit your applications, we remain committed to ensuring your business is processed timely and accurately. I thank you for your time today. If you have any questions at all, certainly feel free to reach out to us here at IMS. You can reach out to me directly or anyone here on our IMS team. Thanks so much and have a great day. Bye-bye.